He's amazing. Perfect. Hi! Oh my god, he's so beautiful. What a color combination.
Good boy. Good, what's that? Hey, get it.
After school, I went to the East Coast to be an opera singer.
Oh, does it look like you? It's like, it's all right.
Amazing. All right, should he go on the wall?
Oh, definitely go on the wall.
Amazing. Awesome. Usually I am the one drawing the portraits, so I'm a live illustrator. I specialize in live event illustration and live portraiture. But today I wanted to invite people to help me prove that everyone is a work of art. So it's about the idea that everybody is worthy of being seen and being known, and inviting people to just take a moment to sit down and look at each other with that idea in mind, the idea that you are a work of art. People are usually a little nervous and they're like, oh, I can't draw at all. And that's how I started. So I'm totally self-taught. I learned how to draw people just by drawing people on the subway in New York. And so when I started doing that, I knew two things for certain. I knew that I couldn't draw people, and I knew that I couldn't draw anything from real life. And now that's all I do. But more importantly, it's just showed me that, like, I think a lot of us are afraid that we can't. And so we block ourselves from just the joy of doing. So what I wanted to do is just give people an invitation to sit down and just try, and not being able to look at their drawing kind of releases them from any judgment. And prove my point that you are a work of art. I am Drawn on the Way on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, and I'm drawnontheway.com on the web. So these are called blind portraits, and they're called that because when you make them, you don't look at the page. And so that's why I put these frames here, because the idea is that everybody's a work of art. So we're already framed, so everyone is already an artwork. And I have people sit down, we set a timer for 1 minute, and you just look at the person that you're drawing, and you don't look at the page. And then you make a drawing that's totally crazy, totally wonky, totally fun. But it's really nice because we can't see what we're doing, we can't judge what we're doing, so it allows people to just play and actually connect with the person across from you. Yeah, I grew up in Ann Arbor, and then after school I went to the East Coast to be an opera singer. Was while I was making that transition that I just found myself feeling really bored and needing something creative, and I found myself on the train one day and I was coming home from work, and I didn't want to be looking at my phone, and so I thought, what can I do? I thought maybe I'll doodle. I always like to doodle. And nothing came to mind, and I looked around the train, and I saw this older gentleman sitting across from me, and he just was really interesting looking and just had like a story to him. Like probably 80 years old, going into the city when everyone else is going home for the night, in like a 3-piece leisure suit, and I was just like, who is this guy? So I started wondering about him. While I was wondering about him, I put that wonder onto the page in the form of a drawing. And that was the first time I ever drew anybody. It was so fun. But when I got on the train the next morning, I was like, I'm gonna do that again and again and again. And I've drawn over 6,000 strangers. At first I was sort of like, how can I bring this project that was kind of born in this really anonymous place? Like, New York is huge. You're kind of like trained not to look at each other, like ignore everybody and be very anonymous. And I think as a Midwesterner and an extrovert, I was sort of uncomfortable with that anonymity, and I wanted to connect with people. And so drawing people, even if at first I didn't share my drawings with people, but just doing that became a kind of connection. And then I started sharing the drawings that I made with the people that I'd drawn, and then that became a form of connection and sort of broke that unspoken rule of being anonymous, and it just became this amazing form of like connection. And when I came back to Ann Arbor, I was like, do we need that here? You know, it's a small town, so like, is that something that can have a place here? And I think over the years I'm like, yeah, we need that actually everywhere. we need to stop and look at each other and really kind of say, you know, everybody's worthy of being seen and being known, and looking at each other as works of art. You know, whether we ever get to connect over that point of view, framing things that way.